This video will focus on the console. The console is not only a monitoring tool, it can also be used as a learning tool. Since every time that you are making a move in the editor, changing a property, adding a new resource, it will generate a scripting command that will be sent through the server of the editor and then relayed to the underlying NRG API. So from these commands, you can then learn how to do specific operation and apply that same logic into your own script. Basically, the console is divided into, on the left side, you're going to have all the thread that are running. And on the right side, basically, it's your output. The main thread is a persistent thread. It is created by default when NRG is starting. This thread is a blocking thread, so if lengthy operation scripting commands are executed by this thread, it will lock the execution. All subsequent threads that are created by either assets, objects, resources in general will be non-blocking. To send a command to a specific thread, all you have to do is to click on it. In the command, you can type, in example, hello world, and we can see that I send to that specific thread address as an input. You can judge from the direction of this arrow. I send the command print hello world, and that specific thread return me as an output hello world. Now, if I go to my second thread here that is attached to my camera here, I can see that I have a script that is called clear screen that is just basically clearing my back buffer with a color, and it is attached to the scene camera, and this is the address. I can also send specific command to that thread by selecting it from the thread list and then send any command. Let's say print 1 plus 2. I send as an input, and this is my output, and as a confirmation I can see that those number here, the thread ID, match. It is very useful while debugging. If you have multiple script, you can print output on the log directly, and judging from that specific number, that specific address, you can judge and analyze which thread have sent that specific output. It is very useful when debugging. It is worth mentioning that each and every thread run in their own unique independent environment, and I'm going to explain and demonstrate exactly what I mean by that. I'm going to go in my application property here. When I'm adding a new thread here, I can see that the list have been updated, and I got a hint on which resource is currently using it. In this case, the application itself. I'm going to create a second one. And as you can notice here, the state of that specific thread is now dormant. It means that even if a script is attached to that thread, it will not be executed unless it is triggered by an event. I am going to go in my code editor here, and I prepare that little script as a demonstration. I am going to connect that script to my thread. Thread 1, thread 2, associated to my application. As you can see, I have now the name of that script, but the state is still dormant. To activate their state, since that specific script responds to the onStart event, I'm going to have to first start my application for the thread to be created and become active. Now, this script basically is doing the follow. On start, take the variable seed, assign it to a random number from 0 to 1000, and I have access to my print seed function here that I create that is going to output on the console the value of that seed variable for a specific thread. I am going to start my application, and notice that the state of these two threads will become active. If I go in my main thread and type and call my print seed function here, the main thread have absolutely no idea what is print seed because it only resides in this specific script. If I select my first thread and run again the print seed command, I will see that the number returned by that thread, C10, is 972. I am going to select my second one, that is E0000, and it returned 483. Same script, different thread, different value. Each and every one of them are independent. It is necessary to have that kind of mechanism to give maximum flexibility on your script. One script can be run by multiple resources, have the same code, but each and every one of them are basically independent, run in their own specific unique environment. The console can also be used as a broadcast command. And what I mean by that is here I'm having my phone that run the NRG viewer. It is connected. I'm going to connect it now. It is now connected, and the IP address of my viewer is running on this specific one here. I'm going to send a command directly to my phone running my application 192.168.0.101 at, and then my scripting command print, and again, hello world. I can see on my phone that it is now printed hello world. But as you notice, the console, I do not have an output. The output is on the device, my other remote device. It have not been executed locally. I can also use it to broadcast. If I copy again my hello world and I hold shift before running the command, before hitting enter, shift and then click, now we can see that on my editor I have the output hello world, and on my phone as well. I broadcast the print hello world to all devices, including the local one. That means that you can directly send specific operation to remote devices and observe their result in their own specific environment on each and every specific device.